Okay, we are now recording and ready to go in class. Okay, the first thing I'm gonna do, I'm gonna put this in the chat real quick. I have put it in, but some of you may not have seen it as soon as you get in. So if you have missed any of the lessons prior to this, you can access it through the links there, okay, that I just put in the chat. So the first one, lesson 1, is a quiz you have to do on the OLS, so you have to actually go into the OLS and do it. Lesson 2, lesson 3, lesson 4, lesson 5. So all of those are on there, and you're able to access all of them. Today we're going to be going over lesson 6, and because I've started using new curriculum and stuff, this is actually going to be, and we're only about 15 days or 2 weeks away from the end of the block. This is going to be our last lesson, okay? So you have lessons 1 through 6. Each of them have an assignment or task with them, okay? So if you have not done them, you need to go back and do them. I am still correcting lesson 5, and I will be completed with that probably in the next day or so. And then I'll be working on lesson 6. And so make sure you get all of that done on there, okay? So any questions with that? So if you need to make up anything, it's all there in those links. So you can just click on it and go to it. There's video instructions on each, so you may have to watch a little bit of a video so you get down the instructions to know what to do. But from there, it's fairly easy to go. Okay? All right. Okay, let's go into it. So today we're going to be talking about political systems, particularly about political systems in the United States. And what our objective is at the end of everything is you're going to be given a Google form at the very end of it. So just a little link, right? Like I just gave you for all the other lessons. The students will take a political ideology quiz. So basically that's a quiz, and I'll go to the link and show you how it works. But it's like 11 questions you have to do, and it will put you like on a political scale to kind of see where you're at. In which you'll just identify, where you're at with 80% accuracy. So it's really to kind of see for you where your values kind of stay in line with. And one thing I know real quick about like politics and stuff is sometimes it can get kind of heated, especially in like a presidential year that we're choosing it. So you've probably seen all of the things with President Trump's running again, and then you also have all of the Democratic competitors that are there. So I'm not saying choose one over another or anything like that, but I'm just choosing that, to fit your political ideology, you probably want to see where you fall in between, okay? So that's what we're going to kind of work on today. So I got a couple slides we'll be going through, and then we'll get to the assignment. So in the United States, I kind of feel like this over here, this picture where it says politics. And you just have yep, nope, right, going back and forth on different things. So we are really split over there, and the way that the Constitution was made is it breaks it out where only a two-party system can really rule. We'll be talking about a third party people, but they don't have a big enough majority to be able to do it. So can anybody tell me the two political parties? Which one is represented by this figure right here? The one I'm clicking at with my finger. Can anybody tell me? Democrat, the Democratic Party, correct. And then on the other side would be what party? The Republican Party, okay? And so they all each have different kind of values, or platform is what they call it. They're the ones that they kind of agree with. So, as we're going through here, so you're probably thinking, why even have political parties, right? So basically, political parties is if you want to get somebody elected, and because they go mostly on majority, there's weird college electoral system that's the United States, but it's usually like the majority. The more people you have, the more you can vote somebody in to represent you. And so that's why people kind of get together if you have similar common beliefs and you get together and you align with the party. As I said, there's two main parties, which I already talked about them, the Republican and the Democratic Party in the United States. Now, it's kind of interesting because other countries, some of them have multiple different parties and stuff like that. So the functions of parties, they nominate a candidate, they inform the voters of different things that are going on, they ensure candidates are qualified to be there, they help govern Congress and state legislatures, and then also we have a cool opportunity, not this Friday, but next Friday, to go to the state capitol. There's a UTVA state capitol thing that they're going on, okay? So if you want to go up there, you can kind of see how laws are made and everything like that. I do see people that are private chat me. I'll try to get to you as soon as I can. Probably it's going to be the very end, so if you just hold tight, I'll get to you when I can, okay? So if anybody wants to go to that, that should be coming out in announcements and stuff. So not this Friday, but next Friday. I believe it's the 6th of March is where we'd be going. Going to that. Also, our prom dance is at the state capitol this year. Yes, yep. The state capitol, they do have the prom dance every year. That's a collection of different online schools. So another thing is they act as kind of watchdogs, especially for officials of other parties. So kind of a check and balance with inside parties there. Okay, so this is in 1992, and a lot of things haven't changed a lot, but you can kind of see the ones that are labeled blue are the ones that actually, this is when Bill Clinton ran for office. And you can kind of see here Bill Clinton and I believe Ross Perot. Anyways, you can kind of see which states went to what, right? So Bill Clinton was a Democratic president, and Ross Perot was a Republican. And you can kind of see how, or actually, sorry, Ross Perot was a third-party candidate, and I believe it was George H.W. Bush was running against him. I'm sorry, I should do that. But sometimes third parties have different things. So if George H.W. Bush actually got all of Ross Perot's votes, he actually probably would have been the winner. But instead, we got Bill Clinton, and they took out him. So you can kind of see the states where they kind of fall. The blue means they've gone to the Democratic Party. The red means they go to the Republican Party. And just so you know, since we live in Utah, Utah is has a very Republican stronghold, and has for years and years. Okay. All right, so let's talk about the Republican Party real quick. So the Republican Party, just real quick, it was born from the dispute over slavery. Lincoln was the first Republican president. They tends to have this, like, they believe that state government should be stronger than the federal government, less change and more like traditional way that things have been, less taxes on the rich, and less government spending. And their symbol is the elephant. So that's just some kind of things that they agree with. There's a lot more, but can't go through all of them. And so here are some prominent Republicans. Abraham Lincoln, you have George W. Bush, Ronald Reagan, Mitt Romney, who is one of the senators in Utah, Condoleezza Rice, I'm trying to think her name, the one from Alaska, Sarah Palin. So, okay, the Democratic Party has roots. It stemmed from back to like Jefferson. So, and it also tends to support a stronger federal government, so more control at the federal level, more adapt to change, more about taxing the rich, more about spending more on government programs like welfare, that kind of stuff. And their symbol is the donkey. Which I think they should change that because a lot of people make fun of that. So some prominent Democratic leaders, John F. Kennedy, President Barack Obama, Hillary Clinton, Bill Clinton, and Oprah Winfrey. So as you can kind of see some differences between the Republicans and, or the Democrats and Republicans. You can just kind of look at those. Third parties, as I said before, so you don't have to be affiliated with a party, but usually you lean one way or another, and sometimes you relate more to third parties like the Libertarian Party or the Green Party. There's also a Reform Party. There's a lot of different kind of parties out there, but the biggest ones are actually the Green and Libertarian that have kind of the most movement in there. So traditionally, people, what they call is they either lean to the left or to the right. So to the right are people who hold more to like traditional values, and the left are more people who support more change in society. And they kind of think that. So that's what you're going to be doing as we talked about your objective on your quiz here, which will lead us to what the assignment is. Okay. So let me just I'm going to share my screen with you. Can't talk today apparently. And kind of go over this with you. And I'm going to put this in the chat so you can follow along at the same time. Okay. And let me just pop up my screen share. All right. Will you give me a green check mark if you can see my screen right now? Okay, 3, 4, 5, 6. I know there's more than 6 of you. 7. Good. If you can see my screen, give me a green check mark. Awesome. Okay, so it looks like we got the majority of you here. So let's kind of go over it. So I will be putting in this recording that I'm doing right now into this. But as we said, giving you a Google form that you have, you're going to look at your political ideology. So what you're going to do is you're going to put your full name right here. You're going to put your gender, male or female. And then you need to go and take this political ideology thing. And this is just from PBS News. So just a source. So you'll click on that. It'll take you to PBS News. And what you're going to do is you're going to go all the way to the bottom of here. Oh, it's going to make me... You can just X off that. Okay. And you're just going to take the quiz. And it's just going to ask you little questions. And your views, what are that? Do businesses make too much, right? Yes or no? Boom. I'm just going to click on these. I'm not putting these, right? So anyways, you go through that, right, to fill it out legitimately. And then you're going to put yes that you did fill it out. And then it's going to give you, it's going to point an area of where you're at. And you're just going to type that in there and you submit it. So that is your assignment for today. Okay? All right, so I'm going to get back to my screen here. Any questions in regards to that before I get to the private chat and stop the recording? No? Okay. All right, so that should give it to you. I'll get to the private chats in just a second. Let me stop the recording here.